Look at this. This is Minecraft's new, most realistic shader. This is just one shader, and I'm not using any other texture packs. So even the grass is entirely made by the shader. This is Eclipse shader. When you load the shader pack up for the first time, it won't look very special. It'll look almost like Bliss, maybe with nicer water, but nothing special really. Only when you step into the water you're gonna see the water actually reacts to you. This is the first shader to ever do this. Everything related to the water looks absolutely awesome. There's even a cool animation when you leave the water. But the real magic from this shader comes when you go into the settings and enable the shader grass, because then this happens. And honestly, it looks almost like one of these realistic Minecraft shorts from 2020. The only difference is those were fake. And this is very real. There's some more interesting things this pack could do. For example, when you go into the Nether, that's not a portal. Much better. You can see there's some nice lighting, but nothing special. Only when you travel to a more open area, there we go, you can see there's some insane fog going on here. It gives the Nether a completely different vibe, and of course it's volumetric so you can fly right through it. Another cool thing about the Nether is that when you get close to the lava, you can see there's a subtle fog effect above the lava to show the heat. Also, when you dip your toes into the lava, you can see that everything is really distorted, and I think it just looks really good. Also, when we quickly head to the end, we have some really impressive clouds going on in there, and when we enter, we can see the same cloud up there in the sky spinning away. And the cool part about this thing is that isn't just a video file that they decided to play up there. This thing actually exists in the world, so you can fly to it, you can enter it, and you can see that the entire end is made up of these insane cloud structures with this huge storm in the middle, and it just looks absolutely unreal. And this extends all the way out to the end city, so if we just fly over there to the outer end islands, we can see that these cloud structures are everywhere. Well, if that wasn't enough realism for you, there is even more. If you go into the settings, there's an alternate star. If you click on it, you can see that it makes the lighting a lot more realistic. It gives the game an entirely different feel, a lot more grey, but also kinda cool. But now we get to the experimental stuff. First, we have hyper-detailed waves, as if the normal waves weren't already detailed enough. Look at this. This is some insanely detailed water. Quick side-by-side comparison here. In addition to that, we can have large water displacement, which, when enabled, makes it so we have quite the big waves sometimes. And it does look a little bit wrong when combining it with the hyper-detailed waves, but it's really cool nonetheless, and this really almost looks like the oceans in physics mod. Let me actually visit an ocean real quick. Okay, so there we have it. This is what an ocean looks like with the hyper-detailed waves and the big waves enabled, and you can see, especially on the horizon, it really starts to look like the ocean. And I think I did mention that the water ripple effect does also apply to boats. So that's cool, I guess. But believe it or not, there's more. In the experimental stuff, we have the enchantment glint brightness, which I think could look really, yep. I like that. That looks almost like the old enchantment glint. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that on max. But I just can't get over this ocean, man. The reflections of the clouds in the distance makes it look almost like there is a lot of wind out there and the waves are breaking. If you don't want the ultra-realistic water, you can also have vanilla-like water, which looks really weird when enabling the large water displacement. Oh my god. What is that? Yeah, I think I don't like that one. I'm gonna disable that. Also, there's a pixelated option, which just makes the entire game look like it's running in 360p or something like that. But weirdly enough, it actually drops your FPS quite significantly. Now to the performance. And well, at least on my RTX 5070, this is performing absolutely great. I'm getting 90 to 100 FPS most of the time on 32 chunks of render distance. Comparing that to something like complementary, I get about 20 FPS more. So the FPS drop from this to this isn't actually too bad. And if you can run complementary, you can probably also run this. And the crazy part about this is based on Bliss shaders, which is based on Chocopic shaders. So, this and pretty much every other shader is based on that. So, complementary, BSL, all those guys are running the exact same code in their core. If you want to learn more about that, go watch this video. Bye bye.